We're in eastern Kentucky about to take on the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway.
Along the way, you'll see exactly what the trails and terrain are like and any obstacles or hazards there may be.
That way you can decide for yourself if you and your vehicle are up for the challenge.
Let's get started. Before leaving home, we downloaded the official map of the byway into the free Avenza app. Links to all that are in the video description below.
This is the definitive map. It's updated regularly to show any changes that have been made. The route is a circular one, and it's recommended that you go in a counterclockwise direction. So we'll be starting at the corner of Highway 11 and Kentucky 1639. All along the route, you'll find markers confirming that you're on the right path. Also, we'll answer frequently asked questions about the route near the end of the video.
The route starts out on a two-lane blacktop road, passing by small farms and picturesque homes. Then, the road gets narrower and eventually turns to gravel.
If you're following along on the map while watching this, you probably noticed that we bypassed a section of the route that goes down High Rock and Mountain Springs Road. Two reasons why we skipped that portion. We heard that there are super deep, muddy ruts and a landowner that harasses people going down his road.
We don't want no trouble.
As we went down Fixer Road, it progressively got rougher and less maintained, and eventually started following a small creek bed. All along the Daniel Boone route, you'll come across old oil rigs, and in many spots, exposed piping, most of which appear to be no longer in service. After passing by the big earthen dam, the road gets much smoother. We then chose the option of traveling down New Virginia Ridge Road. There's a little bit of mud to slip and slide in, and a few rocks to bounce over. Before long, we were back on pavement at Highways 52 and 11. Soon, we turned left onto Hell Creek Road. started out being a nice gravel road going past many high cliffs and splashing through small creeks. Then things got serious as we made the descent to the creek below.
So yesterday late afternoon we made it as far as the deep water crossing. I wanted to check the level, so I waded in, and I'm rather tall. I wear a 36-inch inseam, and it was at least 3 feet deep.
I still don't understand why you had to take your underwear off to wade in.
America.
It was getting late in the day, it was raining, and most of all, we were all alone. If something happened, we'd be screwed. Mark is usually very optimistic about these obstacles, maybe a little too optimistic. That's why I get 51% of the vote, and I voted not to do this one.
So it's the next morning. We actually came back. Now we're on this side of that water crossing, and we're going to take a walk up the trail and show you just what's up ahead. So right after crossing the water, the trail looks pretty simple and pretty easy going. Follow me. So there's a few boulders, nothing too bad, right? Now we're going uphill out of the creek bed, and we are way off camber here, and this is really slippery clay. The ruts are really deep. When you get to the top, or you think you're at the top, there's a wonderful cliff, and there's a nice flat spot here to catch your breath.
But you're not done yet. The worst is right here. I'm 5'4.5", and I don't know if you can squeeze your vehicle through there, but...
Really, the only chance you have is to line up on these two boulders and give it a try. You're definitely going to scrape your sliders going up and going down on the other side.
Nice. Woo!
I'm a ballerina.
As much as I hate to pass up a challenge, I think we made the right choice.
See, I was right. Trust my judgment. All right, let's continue on the trail.
Shortly after getting past that difficult portion, Old Fincastle Road turns into gravel and eventually pavement as the route goes down a short section of Kentucky 2016. It wasn't long before we heard the sound of our tires crunching on gravel again. We came across portions of the roadway that had deep ruts. They were easy to straddle or go around or simply go through. At the bottom of the hill, we cross the creek at David's Big Boulder Beach.
Heavy or prolonged rain can make many sections of the Daniel Boone route impassable. Be sure to check the weather and the water levels in the creeks before heading out.
This is a great place to stop for lunch. The trail then turns into Lower Devil Creek Road, a nice slow drive through the woods. Then back on pavement at Sandy Ridge Road. From here on, you'll be driving on pavement for a long time. But this is also where there's all sorts of sights to see and incredible hiking trails leading to rock formations and overlooks. Take a side trip to experience Nada Tunnel, a long narrow tube cut through the ridge.
So it's the next morning.
Good morning.
Today we're finishing up the trail. We're starting where we left off yesterday at the entrance of the very south end of Spas Creek Road. We're going to go north on it and then down south on Pumpkin Hollow and finish up. This will be a fun day.
Spas Creek Road starts out as an easy gravel road, then suddenly turns into a slow speed crawl through the woods, crossing the creek many, many times. At the end of Spas Creek, we drove west on pavement for a very short time, then turned left onto Pumpkin Hollow Road. We were immediately greeted by a steep uphill battle through slippery clay, deep ruts, and over big rocks. After climbing that hill, the rest of the trail was an easy one. It wasn't long before we were back on pavement and at the end of our trip.
So, how long is the route?
The main loop of the byway that you just saw us doing is approximately 100 miles long. But there are many side trails you can take, especially up at the north end.
How much time does the main loop take?
Well, that all depends on how much time you want to spend on it. I suppose that you could do the whole 100 miles of the main loop in one really long day. That's without stopping anywhere or doing, taking any side trips or anything. But if you want to do it at a leisurely pace, stopping frequently, taking pictures and such, I think it can easily be done in 2 full days. Now, we actually took 3 days doing it because we were stopping all the time to get out and take footage.
What's the best time of year to do the trail?
The best time is the summer and fall months. Avoid going on the trail in early spring when the frost is coming out of the ground or when it's really super muddy. Last thing we want to do is create really deep ruts in the trail.
Where can we camp?
Throughout the area, there are numerous private and national forest campgrounds.
Is there dispersed camping along the route?
Much of the route, maybe even most of the route, goes through private lands, especially at the south end. So, no dispersed camping on private land. In regards to camping on national forest land, before heading out, I called the Cumberland district of the Daniel Boone National Forest. That's the area that the byway goes through. And I asked them where it is legal to dispersed camp on national forest property. And they said nowhere except for small portions of Indian Creek Road.
We base camped at Coomer Ridge Campground.
That's a national forest campground.
Can the route be done in a stock SUV or pickup?
It all depends on what stock SUV or pickup. As you saw in our video, you're going to need some ground clearance and you're going to need at least some good all-terrain tires with good tread on them. And you also see where we went into and left a lot of the deep puddles in that. We nose-dived in, so it may damage that big plastic bumper you have on your vehicle if it hits the bottom. And with a stock ride heights, you probably will hit that. So it's up to you whether you want to try it or not. I would say that it's best to do it with a vehicle that's lifted 2 or 3 inches on 33-inch tires at least. But try it. See what happens.
At your own risk.
At your own risk. We hope you found our video helpful in planning your own trip down the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway.
If you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.
Along with any kind of hazards or obstacles. And any hazards or obstacles.
Are those like icicles?
And any obstacles.
If you and your vehicle are up to any... Can the route be done in a stock...
I don't know. Depends on what the hell you're talking about.
A sock.
In a sock? I suppose you could wear socks.